How's everybody doing tonight? Tonight I'm going to do a little video on this knife that I've had for a while. This is a Sharp Eye Design Apex in the Damasteel Tanto version. And I've been, so I'm kind of going to do this video because I originally wasn't going to carry this knife or use it. I recently sold the drop point version of this in the S90V. And I decided, you know what? I really like that knife, and I really like this knife. I do have the red and black version in S90V as well. Like I said, I sold the blue and titanium version of it, and to get another knife. And I decided to start carrying this one. This was one that I was going to, keep pristine, but I decided, you know what? I liked it so much that I decided I'm going to carry it. The blade is really, really nice. It's a Damasteel blade. And I've never really carried a Tanto, so I want to give it a try, and I want to actually use it, carry it, and enjoy it. So today I am going to put some skiffs in this thing. I did put a clip on it actually earlier tonight that I modified. And, I modified it a long time ago. Well, actually, a friend of mine did it, but knocked down all the edges on this clip, which, I went over is probably this knife's only weakness that I could find. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into this thing. I debated, like I said, going back and forth on this, on whether or not, I wanted to carry this knife because it's so nice. It's like it's probably one of, if not the nicest knives that I have, and I considered it to be a grail. But I figured, I did get this used. I didn't pay full price, and I really want to carry it. It's just a nice knife, and when you get to carry a knife is when you really get to enjoy using it and carrying it. So, this one's a little tight. I'm going to make sure I get this right. There we go. All right. So I decided to put skiffs in this. I originally wasn't going to, but there was, like, at the half closed position, there was a little bit of, wiggle that I could feel or lash back and forth. So I decided to go ahead and put some skiffs in this because I know it's going to strengthen it up a little bit. Okay, these are sometimes a little tricky to get apart. There we go. Come on. Boy, this one's really sticking. It's really tricky. Okay, so we're partially there. There we go. Why was that giving me such a hard time? Okay, I've taken this knife apart plenty. I guess because it's brand new. I've taken this type of knife apart plenty, not this particular one, obviously, but okay. So there's the factory washers, which are nice and smooth, but I'm hoping this gets rid of that little bit of wiggle that I noticed. And usually the skiffs, they do have more balls in them, and they are higher quality bearing. I've been over that, but in my opinion, it should make a difference. We'll see. But yeah, anyway, I decided to carry this knife because, I figured why not. It's a beautiful knife, and I want to carry it, admire it. I'm not going to go cutting into bags of concrete with it or anything like that. I'll probably slice up my apple in the morning. Okay. Just putting a little KPL lube on these bearings. Make sure they're good and lubed up. All right, that should be good to go. Let's get this sucker back together. These knives are pretty easy generally to take apart and put together. The tolerances are really tight, so it can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes getting them apart, but this one wasn't too bad. It does have a captive pivot, so that chain, which you want to make sure is, is seated properly. There we go. Okay, that's seated, so I'm going to try to hold it as much as I can. There we go. All right, get the sucker back on here and get this thing together. I'm trying to think. I already put some KPL Heavy on the detent nub, which is what these Sharp by Design knives have, which is a really cool feature. If you're not familiar with that, whoa, I lost my bearings. It basically creates a wonderful detent. There we go. All right. Now I do have some Loctite here. I'm going to put a little bit of blue thread locker. Oh, that's a lot actually, but that's okay. And then I will have to let this knife sit for a little while, which is the hardest part about using thread locker. Not a ton. I'll just get some on there. Get that sucker in there. Okay. Let's make sure we're all tight. This was my favorite knife of 2023, the knife that I carried the most, and really for good reason. It's an awesome knife. My only complaint would be the pocket clip, which, like I said, I modified. So I want to make sure this is flush. Yes, it is. Okay, we got that in. Get a little Loctite on the pocket clip screw. There we go. Come on. Unfortunately, the original pocket clip with this knife is sharp around the edges. So I consider modifying this clip kind of a necessity, which in a knife that's expensive is a shame, but the rest of the knife is so good, I can overlook that, and like I said, it's worth doing to have a knife like this. You could use the original pocket clip, but like I said, it was pretty sharp. Kind of bothered me. Let's make sure we got this thing centered. That might be a little loose, so I'll need to check that. Okay, it's solid as a rock. Let's see if we fix that. No, it still has a little bit of that. Tighten it up a little more. Maybe that's just how it's going to be, which is unusual. Let's see here. Oh, that's much better. I can still feel a little bit. Let's see if I can I don't want to get it too tight to where the action is no good. But I would like to get rid of that. Just a personal thing. Oh, it's gone. Hold on. Is it gone? Oh, it's gone. Yeah. Just make sure. Give it another little quick turn. Okay, that's pretty tight. Let's check the centering. That looks perfect. All right, that's what I like to see. Action is smooth. A little tight, but smooth nonetheless. All right. Yeah. So if you guys have ever had a knife in your collection that you didn't want to carry because of the expense, and I kind of get that, it's a lot of money, but you only go around this merry-go-round once, and if you've got something that you've been wanting to carry and you've been debating on whether or not you should, because it's going to devalue the item. In this case, I'm okay with it. If it devalues the item $50 or $100 when I go to resell it, so be it. I'll get to enjoy it. I'll get to use it. I'll get to carry it. And I'm looking forward to getting this thing out in the sunlight. Because, man, that blade is something to look at. But, yeah. I just wanted to do this video and talk about, if you guys have had the situation that I'm in right now where you have a knife that you kind of want to carry but don't want to carry, feel free to leave comments in the leave comments and talk about if you've run into this before, if you have the same feeling. But I decided to go ahead and start carrying this knife. I saw it sitting there on display and I'm like, you know what? I want to put that in my pocket. So let's throw some skiffs in it. Let's get everything set up the way I want it, which it pretty much is the way I want it. It doesn't, no play there. Nice and centered. Good action. Shake shut on the fall. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to be putting this thing back in the rack, let it sit for about 24 hours, and then I'll be carrying it from then on out. But yeah, just wanted to share this with you guys. And great knife, by the way. But you all take care out there. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.